Good morning and welcome to part one on how to make a passive speaker for a smartphone. Doesn't need to be an iPhone, doesn't need to be an Android, can be whatever, any type of smartphone. This will amplify the sound. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, the phone goes in the top here, and then the speaker volume and sound goes through that, and it comes out this little front section here, and it amplifies the sound. Okay, so it's made up of 3 different layers. If you look at this, the top layer is right here, right? The middle layer is in here. You can see I taped that middle layer. We'll talk about that in another video. And then I have the bottom layer right here. Okay, now each one of these layers, 1, 2, 3, are approximately a 1/2 inch thick. All right, so when you stack your cardboard, you're going to want to stack it so that it is about a 1/2 inch thick. Not all cardboard is the same thickness, so sometimes you may need to use 2 pieces, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, depending on the cardboard that you have. Okay, so we're going to make the bottom section right now just to start and just to warm up, because there's no real intricate cutting on that, and it'll get us warmed up to how to cut and what shape we need. All right, so I'm going to put this speaker aside, and what we need is small rectangular pieces this size, 5 inches by 3.5. I'll bring it up here so you can see that. 5 inches by 3.5 inches. Okay, so what I'm going to do, take my piece of cardboard here, I'm going to measure in let's see what we have here. Let's measure in 3.5 inches, mark it, measure in 3.5 inches, mark it. I'm going to connect my lines, my little marks that I made. I'm going to strike a line, just like that, and I'm going to cut along the line using a trusty old pair of scissors. Okay, so now I have my width is good. I need to make it 5 inches long. So I'm going to measure from here, 5 inches. Mark it. Mark it again. Connect. And then I'm going to cut. And then I have my little piece here that is 3.5 by 5 inches. Now you're going to need to cut a few of these. So like I said, you're going to need to cut them so that when you stack them together, I pre-cut a few so you wouldn't have to see me cut a whole bunch of them. But I cut one just so you could see how it's done. So if I take 2 and I stack it together, that gives me almost a 1/2 inch, because this is very thick cardboard. That's about a 1/2 inch. The cardboard that you have might not be as thick as this, so you may need to stack up 3 pieces. All right, so you're going to make that decision on your own. You're going to stack it up, and then you're going to measure across here and try and get it as close as you can to a 1/2 inch, no bigger than 3/4 of an inch. We don't want it to get too bulky. So anywhere between a 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch is fine. In this case, we are going to use 2 pieces of cardboard. I'm just going to put some hot glue in here, stick it together, and then I'll have my bottom piece complete. Okay, so once it's dry with the hot glue, bottom section complete. Okay, so that's part 1 on how to make the bottom section of this passive smartphone speaker.